Is Jordan Ham. I am gonna walk you guys through how to make sure all your footage is organized, everything like that. After you shot some gorgeous footage. So first things first, going to plug in my SD card into my computer. Now some of you may have a card reader. Some of you may have the card reader built in to your computer, which is great. Others may need to purchase one to plug in. That's what I'm doing right now off of my computer. It goes, I believe, from a Thunderbolt to an SD, I believe. I found it on Amazon. It's like $12, pretty inexpensive. Works great. And is very stable because one thing that is very frustrating sometimes is when those go haywire pretty quickly, and you're in the middle of a project and it keeps saying your SD card ejected. But this one's been rock solid for me. If anyone has questions on which one to purchase or that sort of thing, feel free to email me. But would be happy to show you guys which one I'm talking about. So what we are going to do is, so in this case, my Jordan's S360AZ, that's my work hard drive. I'm going to use that as if you guys were using your hard drives you got for the semester. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And I have already made a folder for it. If I can, right there. Okay, cool. So this is a good way just to keep it organized. I would just do Project 1. Honestly, you could do Project 1 through 4, Quiz 1 through 3 here, that sort of thing, just to keep everything organized. But so go ahead and click inside there. So have that all made up. Now, this is my SD card. It can be named Canon. It can be named a lot of different things. You can rename it if you want. I'm just going to keep it regular. So what you want to go to is private after you shot your footage, and you'll see AVCHD. That is where all of your footage will live on this card. Now, not what we're going to do, we're going to drag all the contents of that card over. So if there are multiple projects on there, that means you might be doubling up. So you could, after each project, if you have all your footage on your hard drive, delete it after each one. That sort of thing can save on space, but we can get into more of that more. This is just a couple of clips that I shot quite a few months ago now on this card, but wanted to just show as an example. So you can take it, you can either hit Command-C if you're on a Mac, click in there, click in the project or the folder you want it, Command-V, that will paste it. You can also drag it, whatever you want. The size will probably be more after you shoot a project with interviews and a lot of B-roll and stuff like that. Like I said, these are just a few clips. So you then want to open up Premiere. All right, so we are here. And okay, so everything is dragged over from the card onto the project, into Project 1 folder. That's great. That means it's on your hard drive. So that means that you can eject your card. Okay. So now we have it here in our on our hard drive. Life is good. There are all of our files. So now in Premiere, we'll do a new project. We'll say Project 1 Test. And you'll see the location of where you want this project to live, essentially. So what you want to do, go back to your hard drive, go to whatever project you're working on, hit choose. Then you go to the scratch disks, and you want them to say same as project. And then you want to make sure the path is the same and makes sense. So what this is saying is the path, volumes. So it's on my hard drive, then in one folder, Jordan's JMC 346 projects and Project 1. Yes, that is the path we want it to live in. And then make sure all of these say same as project. If you want to move it, you can always hit browse, find it elsewhere. Same goes for this, but the drop down should have same as project. Now, if it says same as project, but it's not the path you want, you may just need to click on documents for a second, click back to same as project, and boom, it'll reset itself. So you go ahead and hit OK. All right. So now that we have our footage on our hard drive and we have Premiere open, first things first, we're going to check a couple preferences here. Go to autosave. Make sure it saves every 5 minutes, and the maximum project versions is 34. You can also kind of go through, check a few of these as well. I know there were some audio settings on the handout I sent out. Looks like they've since updated, so we'll have to update that a little bit. But there's a lot of different things you can play around with here, but I would just make sure that autosave says 5 minutes and 34. You can hit OK. All right, now there are a couple of different ways that you can input your footage. You can go up to File, File Import, Life is Good, or you can double click in here as well. Hit double click, and then you're going to go back to Project 1, and then so this AVCHD, now that it's in Premiere, there's a little drop down here. You can hit that, and then go to BDMV. Scroll down there and go to Stream. And here are all the clips you shot. Okay? Like I said, there will be a lot more. If you do have multiple projects that you shot, you can go off of the date that you shot it, that sort of thing. But in this case, we just have a couple of smaller clips just to show you guys how to do this. Then you hit Import. Importing files. Depending on how many and how big the files are, that will dictate how long this will take. If it's like a full card, it might take a while. I would suggest always having your computer on the charger while you have Premiere open, just for that reason. But like I said, a couple of very small clips I was testing. I was doing a story where I was following a high school coach. He was doing he's dropping off shirts for various players, but I was going to kind of do a caravan type story. So was testing some things out. So that's how you import your footage. Then make sure you save in Project 1. Now, if we look in here, you'll see Project 1 project. Boom, there you go. The autosave file also lives in here. So if your Premiere all of a sudden shuts off and says, hey, we can track down an autosave for you, this is where the autosaves will live. So as this gets saved more and more, and every 5 minutes a new updated file will get thrown in here. You can do it. The default is there are some folders within your documents that it'll automatically save to. It's just harder to kind of track down. It's a lot more steps. So that's why I always recommend just having it all in one place, all in one folder. Life is Good, that sort of thing. So I'm going to show you one other example where if you have a image or any footage and you end up accidentally moving it, we'll just take a couple of Trey Browns here. There. Okay. The way Premiere works is it's taking all of this footage and all of this content, and it has a path. We saw those when we were setting our scratch discs. So if that path gets moved, or if that file gets moved, that path all of a sudden gets interrupted. So technically the path for these two files, and I'll click on them, they're just two image files of a player I was doing some interviews with a couple weeks ago. These are on my desktop. So let's say I take these two files and put them on my hard drive all of a sudden. And also at the same time, accidentally delete them. Oh, now it doesn't want to work. Okay. Well, that's fine. Okay, so what I will show you is throw them in the timeline. So if you essentially, if some of these files get moved and you don't kind of reconnect it, what it'll show is, we can actually do this manually. So make that offline. So you'll see this. You'll see media offline. It'll be red. It'll be screaming at you. If you export it, all of a sudden it's going to just show this and not the actual image itself. So what you can do is, if that pops up and you still have those files, now make sure those files don't get deleted or anything like that. But if they were just moved, let's say you accidentally had it on your desktop, you moved it to your hard drive midway through the project, that's when this will pop up. So what you can do, right click, and you can see link media. I'll say, okay, here's the path, locate. And now we're seeing file importing inconsistency. So this file is named Trey Brown Arcadia, so that's this image. So if you can track down the where the file is and you hit OK, now it reconnects. What you're doing is reestablishing that path, so it lets you know, or it lets the system know, hey, I checked, this one route and the file wasn't here, so that means it's offline. But by you relinking it, saying, oh no, it's right over here, and it creates a new path to it. So that's just one thing to keep an eye out for. If that does start screaming at you and it's that red image, it can be really scary, but you can reconnect it that way, and that's how to do it. So now that everything's inputted, we can start editing, and I will show you more on that here in the next video.